What is good, y'all? Welcome back to the Here Pro. Welcome back to a brand new video. We are back with a brand new video for you guys, and make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below while we get into the Donovan Mitchell sweepstakes, the rumors, what this means for the Miami Heat. I've seen a lot of people talking about this. ESPN, people are talking about the Miami Heat being a suitor for Donovan Mitchell. We're going to get into exactly the big picture, the story about what is actually going on with the whole Donovan Mitchell situation, the Cavaliers situation, how this impacts the Heat, and so on and so forth. Again, please make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe if you guys are new. We're on the road to 3K. This is the #1 spot for anything Heat related, so make sure you guys get your subscribes in, turn on post notifications. You guys have been killing it over the past few videos with the love you guys have been showing, so really appreciate that. Go check out the video I made yesterday where I talked about, every single prospect that the Heat probably should look at in the NBA draft. But let's get right into it, man. So as we all know, the Cavaliers lost against the Boston Celtics. They got eliminated and they got sent home. What this means, for the Cavs is, a lot of things. Now, there's been a lot of rumors floating around since they lost. ESPN, The Athletic, like Cavs insiders, Heat insiders, a lot of people have been talking about exactly what this means for the Cleveland Cavaliers, what this means for Donovan Mitchell. And it seems like everybody in the Cavs organization, including the coach, a couple of the players, everybody, has been in some sort of rumors or news over the past, few hours. And I think it's, obviously stemmed from them losing. And we've seen stuff come out about Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Jared Allen, JB Bickerstaff. It's crazy. We're going to kind of get, through what exactly this means for the Miami Heat. Because as we all know, the Miami Heat and Donovan Mitchell have been linked since, 2022, when Donovan Mitchell wanted to be a Heat, and he eventually ended up getting traded to the Cavs. This was when he requested a trade from Utah, Utah and him, parted ways after Gobert got traded to the Timberwolves, and he ended up going to the Cavs. He wanted to be either a Miami Heat or a New York Knick, and the Cavs ended up sending him the best package, and the Jazz ended up trading him there. Now, obviously, over the past few seasons, it's been kind of up and down for Donovan Mitchell in Cleveland. Last year was a disappointment in the playoffs. They lost to New York in the first round in pretty handed fashion. And this season, they almost lost to Orlando in 7 games. Now, he had an incredible series in that one. He had a really good closeout game, and he had a really good second round. He didn't play the last 2 games, but the games that he did play, he was averaging almost 30 a game in the playoffs as a whole. So, Donovan Mitchell had a really good playoffs, and coming off of that, the Cavs were expected to, make some moves depending on where they ended up, in the playoffs. Now, obviously, they're back home now. They ended up losing, but they have a lot of big decisions to make. And I think it's very clear from the stuff that we saw last night, from the stuff that we saw today. It's very clear that they have a lot of decisions to make. We're going to get into everything. Obviously, I'm not a Cavs fan by any means. I'm not tapped into the organization as much as a Cavs fan would be. So if there's any Cavs fans watching this video, if I'm speaking incorrectly about any topic, make sure you guys correct me in the comment section so the Heat fans can have a understanding from your guys' perspective as well. But this is from my understanding and from everything I've seen. This is not anything I'm making up. After the game last night, it came out that the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to have to make a big decision this season with their backcourt. And obviously it also came out from Shams and The Athletic that Darius Garland and his camp, who is represented by Rich Paul and Clutch Sports, are very adamant on the fact that if Donovan Mitchell is on the team next season, that they want to be traded. Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell, according to Darius Garland's camp, are not in the position to coexist anymore as a backcourt. And this is something that we've been seeing over the past 2 seasons. It's always, to me, that whenever one of these guys is not playing, the other one plays better. I'm not really sure exactly what it is, but usually that is the case. Now, last night, Darius Garland had an absolute stinker, even though Donovan Mitchell didn't play. But usually that is the case, that whenever Mitchell and Garland share the floor, one of them always has to take a step back, obviously. But whenever one of them is playing by themselves alongside an off-the-ball player, their numbers always get better. So Darius Garland obviously has recognized that and has said that if Donovan Mitchell is on the team next season, that he wants to be traded. That has come out from his camp, and that is put out there by Shams Charania. Now, I'm not really sure Cavaliers fans have an attachment to Darius Garland, after the way he's been playing, but just saying that is something that's out there. Now, with the whole Donovan Mitchell situation, obviously it's been coming out since before the season even ended, the regular season even ended, that there's been a lot of talk about him not signing his extension. He's eligible for a supermax extension that would, guarantee him a contract until I believe he's 31 or something like that. And he didn't, I guess, want to be extended by the Cavs during that time. And this obviously led to a bunch of speculation, such as, the Cavs are going to have to get rid of him and trade him for some assets before he walks for nothing. Because if he doesn't sign an extension, he's going to be on an expiring contract, and then you risk losing him for nothing. Now, that has been the message from Donovan Mitchell's camp over the past few weeks or few months, I guess, from even before the season ended. But yesterday or today morning, I guess, there was an interesting report put out by Shams Charania in his article about this whole situation. And he said that the Cavaliers are growingly optimistic that Donovan Mitchell will indeed sign an extension with them that will put him, and lock him up with the Cavs until he is 30 plus. Now, obviously, it also said in the report that he's solely focused on winning, but he also, wants to be a loyal player. So we'll see how that goes. I'm not really sure exactly, if that's just smoke or if that's being, said to him by the Cavs, if that's negotiation tactics for a team to, up their price. I don't really know exactly what that is. I would be pretty surprised if he signed an extension. I'm not going to lie. I'm not Donovan Mitchell, so I don't really know what he's thinking right now. But Donovan Mitchell has not been, experiencing that much playoff success since he left Utah. And even in Utah, I mean, did he get to the conference finals with Utah? I'm not sure. I think the max he got to at Utah was the second round, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think he's ever been to a conference finals. So he's kind of in the same position, or even a worse position, I guess, than when he was in Utah. And honestly, this year could have been way worse. If Orlando had kept their 18-point lead, then they would have been out in the first round themselves. So I don't know. I'm not sure if I completely agree that Donovan Mitchell is gonna sign an extension. I think this is maybe due to the fact that he believes that they can acquire something for Darius Garland. But yeah, I'm not really sure exactly if that's true or not, but this has come out from a very reputable source. It's Shams. We all know Shams doesn't really cap whenever he's reporting stuff. So we're going to have to see and monitor what happens with that, because that report does not bode well for the Miami Heat. Because obviously, if Donovan Mitchell did not sign his extension, then the Cavs would be forced to trade him to make sure he doesn't walk for nothing. And then you would talk about trades and stuff like that. But if Donovan Mitchell signs his extension, the whole Mitchell stuff is over. It's all gone, because if he signs his extension with the Cavs, then we can't really do anything about it. So it's really all in the hands of Mitchell. It's whatever he wants to do. Will he sign his extension? Will he not sign his extension? The Cavs are going to offer him one, which is a really, really lucrative contract. It's the most money any team can offer him. But it's really up to him. Will he want the extension or not? And that's completely up to him, and we're going to have to see what happens with that. Now, I've seen a lot of people talking about if Donovan Mitchell signs his extension, should the Heat go out and get Darius Garland? I do not think that's going to happen. I really don't think that's going to happen at all. For one, Darius Garland is, I believe, 6'1", and I'm not really sure exactly. The Cavs, would they be asking for a hero? Would they ask me for Rozier? I'm not really sure what they would be asking for, but I think Darius Garland in the backcourt, if he were to play with a hero or a Rozier, you don't really get any better to me than you were before, because Rozier and Garland, to me, I don't really see a big gap. And Hero and Garland, okay, even if one is better, again, I don't like a Rozier Garland backcourt either. Garland has, to me, regressed to the point that I'm not really sure if I would trade Rozier for him, just because I understand that Garland and Mitchell don't fit, but does that mean Garland will fit alongside a Jimmy Butler, a Bam Adebayo, a Terry Rozier, a Tyler Hero? What do we think about that? So if he can only coexist on teams without talent, then why are we trying to bring him in? And the second of all, even if the fit and everything were to be fine, I don't know the last time that we have traded for a player or signed a player or drafted a player that has been represented by Clutch Sports was. Since LeBron James, how many players have we acquired through trade or free agency or through draft that have been represented by Clutch? It's been well reported that there is a rift between Pat Riley and Clutch Sports. It was one of the reasons we did not draft Tyrese Maxey in the first round. Instead, we took Precious Achiuwa. Now, obviously that decision was terrible, but again, this team seems to avoid players who are represented by Clutch Sports. I'm not sure if that rift or beef has ended. So for that reason, I just don't see the Darius Garland thing happening, especially when there's other teams. Like I can see the Pelicans offering a Brandon Ingram to the Cavs and for Darius Garland. I could see that swap happening. I could see the Timberwolves trying to go for Darius Garland because they need a point guard. Like, I'm not really sure if the Miami Heat would acquire Darius Garland or not. To me, it's essentially, if you're trying to trade with the Cavs, it's Donovan Mitchell or nothing. I'm not really sure what else you can really do. I've seen reports about Trae Young. I wouldn't really mind Trae Young, but again, the size thing, you know, it is something to talk about, because obviously the Hawks will not want Terry Rozier. They'll want Tyler Hero in a potential Trae Young deal. They want to get younger if they're going to be going in that direction. So then you're going to have to coexist with the Rozier Trae Young backcourt, and again, that's two players who are really undersized at that position. So how is that going to work? I'm not sure. Now Trae Young is, to me, a lot better offensively than all those players that I named, Garland, Hero, Rozier. But at the same time, how will that fit work? I'm not sure. And I'm not sure if Pat Riley's going to want to trade away Tyler Hero for Trae Young. The way he talks about him, I would be surprised if he wanted to trade him for Donovan Mitchell. But I think he does want to trade him for Donovan Mitchell. I think, you know, there is smoke around the fact that the Heat want to acquire Donovan Mitchell because he's a really good player, and they tried to acquire him in 2022. It just didn't work out. So to me, this offseason, it's really going to be Donovan Mitchell or nothing. And I'm really, really scared about the fact that it's going to end up like the Damian Lillard situation, where we spend so much time on it and he either extends his contract with the Cavs or another team, you know, comes out and trades for him using a bunch of draft capital that we don't possess, like a Brooklyn Nets or like a New York Knicks or somebody like that. I think the Houston Rockets have been named. The LA Lakers have been named. The Lakers don't have draft capital. I don't really see him going to the Lakers at all, unless the Cavs GM is just very, very, you know, focused on getting him out of the Eastern Conference. I'm not really sure the Lakers have a realistic chance of getting him. I don't really see what assets they have that they can trade to the Cavs. But the Rockets do have a ton of assets. They have a top 3 pick this season. That is a very, very enticing deal. They have young pieces. And the Nets have 6 tradable picks, if I'm not mistaken. The Knicks have 8 tradable picks. We don't really have the picks or the draft capital for that. Our assets are Tyler Hero and Nikola Jovic, Jaime Jaquez, and I think a couple of picks. I think 2 picks. And, I mean, who knows if the Heat are going to be even willing to give up all 3 of those players that I named. So I'm not really getting my expectations up with the whole Donovan Mitchell situation. You know, I think, you know, there's obviously smoke there, and I think there's obviously something behind the fact that the Miami Heat want to acquire Donovan Mitchell, because they have been trying to acquire him, you know, last 2 years they tried to acquire him, and I do believe that they're monitoring the situation very closely, because I think this is a no-brainer of a deal to do if you were to, you know, get yourself into the position where Donovan Mitchell does not extend his contract with the Cavs and he's gonna be on the verge of walking for nothing, and the Cavs are gonna have to trade him for something instead of getting nothing in return. That is what the best case scenario is, obviously, if you're a Miami Heat fan. But right now, we just don't know what Donovan Mitchell is thinking and where his head is at. He could easily say, you know what, I'm not sure where I'm gonna get this money. I'll go chase rings after I'm 30, and I'm gonna stay here until I'm 31 and lock myself up here. He could easily do that. No, I'm not sure if I strike him as the player to do that. I mean, I don't think he has that personality to go after money like that. I think he does really want to win. He seems like a really competitive player. I've watched him for quite some time now. Even going back to Louisville, he wasn't like that either. But I just don't know what he's thinking. He's obviously gonna have to make a decision pretty soon with the extension, because if not, the Cavs are gonna have to trade him, and that's when the sweepstakes will actually begin. So essentially, right now, it's just a waiting game to see what is really going to happen with Donovan Mitchell's extension. Is he going to sign it? Is he not going to sign it? What will the Cavs do with him, Garland? Who will they want to move on from? It's really kind of the ball's in their court right now. And whatever decision they make, whether it's Mitchell or the Cavs, that is going to directly affect the Heat's pursuits of Donovan Mitchell, obviously, this season. So that is where we sit at. That is kind of a synopsis as to what exactly is going on. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below as to what you guys, think the best case scenario for the Heat is. Do you guys have any backup plans if we fail to get Mitchell? What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comment section below, man. And yeah, I'm going to see y'all later as always. Have a nice day. Peace.